Welcome to Soccerex 2024 in Miami. We are joined today here in the Soccerex studio with the two gentlemen from Lyle and Scott. And let me tell you, you got to hear this story. Okay, so no more looking at the cameras. I want to talk to you boys. It's an honor to have you here because what your story is and what the brand's about historically and where you are going in these next, years ahead, but where you've pushed to get to this point, it's got to be told, man. You guys, and it's got to come from your lips, not from a piece of paper, not from a graphic vinyl behind, and not from a website. Can you give us a little story of what it has taken you guys, and I got a little bit of insight on how much work and time has gone into this, that have taken this fashion brand, this terrace culture brand, everything that Lyle and Scott represents in the UK and around the world for football fans to now, football kits and a whole other trajectory. So I'd like to, hear about it from you guys because I got nothing more to say on that.
Yeah, sure. So I'll kick it off and then I'll hand over to Scott to complete anything I've missed out. So Lyle and Scott, for those that don't know, is a 150-year-old brand born in the borders of Scotland, north of England, a town called Hawick. Well known for making high-quality knitwear. All the way through to the 1950s, 1960s, collaborated with some of the biggest, best brands in the world, Chanel, Yves Saint Laurent, Burberry, Michael Kors. In the 1960s, it was a household name for golf, again, high quality. The eagle was born, the logo today. And through the 80s, the subcultural terrace movement was born through Europe, exporting brands across Europe, importing them from Europe into the UK. And Lyle and Scott has remained on the terrace since the 1980s. Without really knowing it, we've been an ever-present there. And
Right.
as the brand has grown and progressed and done great things within fashion, the one thing that has always remained true and constant is our place within football community, football culture. And the brand means a lot to people in that football community and culture. 2 years ago now, and we were looking at the space we were in for fashion, what was happening in the world of football, what was happening on the terraces, what brands were doing with football, what football clubs were figuring out for themselves as being brands, not just football clubs. We were really excited by what was happening, but we also felt no other fashion brand was really taking the space that was there from a community and culture perspective.
Or trying to take the space, right? So that's another thing. It's in your DNA, and there's a difference between it already being part of your DNA and trying to make it part of your DNA.
Yeah, very much so. And I think that you can do something authentically. And it was a natural step for us. It wasn't a forced or a
Right.
curation of a football culture. It was there and living and breathing. But brands or football clubs were discovering this journey themselves. And there's a new audience of football fans coming through. And an exciting generation that are excited by football and fashion and arts, and you've got a digital age.
Yeah.
And we saw an opportunity to get involved and really use our expertise as a fashion brand to reimagine football kits, what they stood for, what it stood for at grassroots level, give people not only the dignity of having a great kit, but that memory of when you're a kid and you look back and you remember your team and your jersey and playing with your mates and winning and losing.
Yeah.
It was easy to actually start off with, let's do paid sponsors and players. The hardest thing to do is let's ignore all that and go to the community. Let's go to the culture
And work its way up.
and work its way up because it's more organic. It's more true. So
The technical aspect, I wanted to ask you about that because I think that's important too to the value of the garment itself. There's a lot of work that went into the technical aspect, right?
Yeah. It's easy to make a garment if you know how to make a garment. A lot of football shirts can be mass-produced, cheap polyester.
Right.
But we didn't want to do that. Our expertise, like our 150-year heritage, is making high-quality garments.
Don't cheap out now.
Don't cheap out now. You're going into football.
Right.
Take your expertise and make something high quality, but take your expertise in fashion and culture. And Lyle and Scott, although we're known on the terraces, we've got UK movements in grime, in indie music. We've got actors
all over.
and
It's your way past. Yeah.
So the exciting thing is if you fuse all those things together and you look at how culture has evolved, and you've got hip hop stars want to be footballers or NBA players, and NBA and soccer players want to be musicians, and you start fusing culture and you start making soccer jerseys or football jerseys. you make them fashion pieces and statement pieces,
Yeah.
and then you bring personality to the club and to the community. And really, that's what we set out to do: is give football something different, give something that's not mass-produced, high volume, no thought, but curation and community and culture. Anything you want to add?
I see Scott smiling.
You've not left me with loads to say, but I think the thing that makes us unique and makes us a 150-year-old brand that might go for another 150 years or longer is we've always been innovators, we've always relied on communities, we've always had a mentality that we want to challenge with the norm, we want to challenge what other people are doing. If we're just pumping out the same stuff as every other brand, we don't cut through the noise, we don't do anything that's different, we don't make a difference really.
No.
We're just doing the same thing, it's repeated, it's not exciting.
And then your Lyle and Scott fan might support it, but they're supporting it because of the brand and its history with themselves, but it's not the genuine support for the longevity of it.
Exactly, and we will always need more customers. We always want to grow as a brand. We want new markets. We want new territories. Yeah. It's partly why we're here today. Is we're looking at the US and Asia as big expansion opportunities. We've got things beyond football that will take us there, but football has 4 billion, 5 billion, 6 billion fans, players all over the world.
Right.
It gives
and
us an
continuously
opportunity,
growing, right?
Totally, and it's an opportunity to talk to people about more than just fashion or more than just music, which is subjective, has trends. Football's here and it's here forever, and it's not changed for the last 150 years. It's not changed with us. We've been a part of it for 50, 60 years. Let's keep the good times going with it.
What do you hope people are going to get from this? Because I mean, you're doing launches in pockets around the world in different locations with certain. I'm not going to use the word influencer because that's not wrong. Just people that are curating in those cities and those locations to help get this message out and further that. What are you hoping everybody's going to get from, other than authenticity, which you guys have made dramatically clear on? This is one of the most important things, which is, again, clear from anybody who's at Soccerex and who really follows the brand. But what else are you hoping that people are going to grab from this new push towards literally, technical football shirts, fashion or not? It's still a football shirt. I mean, you can still play on the weekend in it, right? You're not wearing the Lyle sweater on the pitch, or you might if it's freezing. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think, as Scott said, we've come here to exhibit because we want to grow the brand and the business. And we came here not really knowing what to expect, being a fashion brand coming into the football space. But the thing we want to bring as that brand going into that space is that people leave feeling we're doing something different, that you know what you're going to get from the household brand names, and whilst they're going to push and do something different because it's an ever-changing sport and the culture moves, I think that people want something new and they want something different and they want something authentic, they want something that resonates with their culture and community. So if they're going to get anything from us, it's not just that we're long-standing traditionalists, it's that we'll push the boundary and we'll champion their community. And when we say we mean equality, we genuinely mean it. Right. We're not saying it because
which is nice and refreshing because it's very easy to use those words.
It is. Marketing talk can be cheap. You can say, equality, but it's $180 for a T-shirt. And you think, well,
what are you talking about, man?
But I think we're coming out here and saying we want to give people, all people, access to the game and celebrate the game. And I think people forget. We're two Brits. It was a working class sport. It was what brought communities together. Yeah. It was the going to the game. Father and son. People leaving factories, going to games together, having a pint together after work. And now there's lots of glitz and glam and money in the game. But at the centre of the game is
core
community.
Yeah.
It's bringing people together. But it's evolved. It's not as simple as just finishing and going to the pub now. It's about how do you get people to come out of the comfort of their own home where they have a lot of things in life, and that's where it's bringing other fusions together. It's pulling in music and arts and other cultural values. And finding things that resonate with them. So I want people to leave, if they didn't know Lyle and Scott, but they leave feeling there's a brand there that's doing something different and exciting.
It blew my mind, honestly. And Scott, did you want to mention anything on top of that?
Yeah, I think so. I think through giving football kits to teams all over the world, it's maybe taken a bit of the purist of football fan out of me and made me see that a pitch can be anything, it can be beautiful anywhere in the world, and we've got teams in Kenya, teams in the US, teams in Asia. They're all playing football. It's the same sport. It might look a little bit different. It might be, sandy pitches. It might be grassy pitches, concrete pitches. But really, they're all getting together to play the sport that we love, that we all know, wherever they are, and we're supporting more people doing it. And I think that's it's not necessarily directly about selling more products. It's about growing a brand and growing a community of footballers all over the world.
I think that's the perfect way to wrap it up. So Scott, Lewis, thank you so much for being here and taking a few minutes to talk with myself and Soccerex, and I hope everybody enjoys what you're discussing and presenting, because it is authentic. Again, thank you very. I'm telling you this, man. This isn't an act. Like
we love it. We love
it. Juiced up. It's so cool.
We love your enthusiasm.
No, but
we feel
so
it.
special.
We feel the passion, and we're happy to be here. Delighted we've come, and look forward to the next steps in journey.
It's in the forefront. You guys you're ahead, as far as I'm concerned. Anyways, thanks again for joining us in Miami.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Cheers.